Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put those new brake pads in here. I'm going to have to unhook this from there and bring this up here this way so we can get access to it. You can see there's quite a bit of brake dust all over it. We're going to scrub that clean. Got a bucket of Dawn dish soap, a scrub brush, a little bit of water. So let's get that taken off, get those old pads out, clean it up, get new ones on. Set you up here where you can kind of see what's going on. Now then, yes, I did go through and already loosen these bolts. And I do have this wire to tie it up when I do get it out. Oh, set that bolt down. Get this up out of there. So then to get the, be careful. Throw a towel up there to kind of help protect that so I don't bang around on the fender. We got to get these two bolts out. Or no, let me rephrase that. Loosen this one. Take this one out. Like I said, I already loosened them. So I'm going to hold this bar in. Take this back one out. Eventually, basically just a pin with some grease on it, and then the threads up here. Setting them down on the ground. And then this bar should pretty much just slide forward. And as you can hear and see, that one brake pad already fell out. This one comes out. This one ain't too bad. This one still had that wear line on it, but while I'm here, they're cheap. You know, they're like 20 bucks. I'm going to go ahead and just put new ones on. I got to get that all cleaned up out of there. Careful with the springs, you don't want to damage or lose those. Spider webs we can go ahead and get rid of. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this up. And then I'll come back. Actually, while I'm here, I'll start pushing these cylinders in it for the lettuce. Just have to be slow with them. You can see that back one's going in. That should give us plenty of room. Front one, he's going. And again, you just be slow. You're pushing all that hydraulic fluid back up the line and back into the tank. You can see I got it pushed in quite a bit. Go a little more. And again, just go slow. You don't need to put a clamp or anything on these. These should be moving pretty easy. There you go. You can see how much I got them in. Should be plenty of room for the new ones. Bring your arm back down, bolt everything up. Once it's on the bike, the other side's done, you'll squeeze the brake handle a couple of times. It'll adjust itself. So I'm going to go ahead and pause there. Get this all cleaned up. And then when I come back, we'll have it clean. From there. There we go. Tie this up for a moment so we don't lose it. Biggest thing is you don't want to stress those hydraulic lines. You don't want any cracks. You certainly don't want them to break. Front brakes on a typical motorcycle you probably use 90% of the time. On a trike, from habit, I'll probably use them more often than not, but I do need to switch over to using the back brakes. Just something I have to learn being a trike. Alright, so bring you back here. These are the ones on the left hand side that I just took off. You see the wear lines. They're not down to like metal or anything. This one's actually not as bad. But just as a comparison against the new ones, you can see they're quite a bit thicker. Now the new ones do not come with the wear indicators. These, what are nice is you can just look up in there. If you still see that little split, you know you got some pad. But these are organic. They don't dissipate heat. They make a mess. All this powder, all this brake dust. These don't make that brake dust. These dissipate heat a lot better with the ceramic copper mix. Wash my hands off a little bit here. Now I just got the caliper cleaned up. It's not spotless. It's going to get dirty again. It sits on the end of the bike. It's out here exposed to the weather and the elements. Well, we cleaned it up pretty good. Again, like I said, it is not spotless. I wasn't going for that. Doesn't look like it was brand new by any means. So we got some soap suds on there. But go ahead and slide these new pads in. Of course, I put it in upside down. Why wouldn't I? Simple as that. Oh, and you guys couldn't see any of that. Sorry about that. Adjust the camera. I'll re-show you that. They're pretty easy. Just slide in. Just like that. Try not to drop them into the soapy, dirty, greasy water. Bring this arm back down. Oh, it didn't click in for some reason. Oh, I see. Line up a little bit better. Normally they'll just pop right in. That spring at the bottom's what they're clipping into. And for some reason they're just not going down into it. I think I see why. I did have them on right the first time. These little teeth things go away from the hub, away from the axle, these little teeth. Got everything all upside down and confused. There we go. There's one. And the other. Whoop. There it goes. Yes, I'll be editing this mess out. There we go. Alright. Kind of push it over. its little groove. Get your pin. Put that back into the hole. Just threading it in by hand right now. Go. And the brakes, you can see I got the pads, they're almost touching. You definitely need to be pushing this part over. Then we can separate them like that. Make room for the rotor in the middle. Over here you can see that. This is actually the fun part. You can't see what you're doing all that well. You have to hold it apart, slide it on, kind of sort of like that. Get this towel out of your way. Now the top bolt was actually still in the hole because of that little reflector that's there. I couldn't actually get it out unless I wanted to take that all apart, and I did not want to take it all apart. I was going to need to. Alright, so we got a few threads holding it. Line up the bottom one. Threads in there. All in all, motorcycle front brakes are pretty easy. You did not have to clean it and all that stuff like I did. I just did because, well, I'm there. Why not? Got it all apart. This little bracket on the back. All right. I'll get you in a little. You can see I got it on. Now these are the bolts I was just doing. I just got them finger tight. I'll get in there with the wrench and crank them down to 29 foot-pounds, I believe it is. You also got these pins to tighten up. There's one there, and this one. That's what holds that arm that swings out, that holds it. The brake line banjo bolt, never touched it, so we're going to leave that alone. And in this case, they're just 12mm. And you don't have to go getting all He-Man on it. These here, I think they're only supposed to be like 15 foot-pounds. But I'll do that off camera where I can use both hands. But that's the left brake. Yes, that rim needs to be cleaned. We're not looking at the rim, we're looking at the brake. Focus! So, if you've done the left one, or the right one, doesn't matter, they're identical. There is no left, no right. When they're off, they both work the same way, function the same way, they don't make any difference. Pads go in the same way, you clean them the same way, they bolt on the same way. So I'm not going to show you the other one. If you need to see the other one, just rewind this one and sit on the other side while you're doing it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get that other one done. And then we still have that headlight mount to put in, that bucket. And we'll be back.